I'm Edward Weniger, and this is Kyle Tutt, and we are Proof of Podcasts. This is a podcast designed to highlight or kind of bring together the Midwest blockchain and cryptocurrency resources. So there's a lot going on, and everybody's got their own little group for each state. So hopefully we can kind of be a central point for people to a central resource for people to call upon or reference if they want to get involved somehow or meet up with other folks that are in the space. So I'll let you go ahead and start, Kyle, if you want to maybe tell a little bit about yourself and your company.
Yeah, so I'm Kyle Tutt. I work for Blockera. We are a blockchain production company, so we do prototyping and kind of business strategy with blockchain technology. Specifically, we like to focus on Ethereum and have been doing that since May of 2017, and I've been in Bitcoin or Ethereum space since like 2015 probably. So little young on the Bitcoin side, but been there kind of since day one on the Ethereum side.
All right, great. And like I said, I'm Edward Weniger. I have a company, Alpha BTC, and we're building a network of Bitcoin kiosks. We have 2 in Nebraska now. Hopefully, going to have a third sometime in February that we can announce, and then and just keep growing from there. So I've been involved with Bitcoin since about 2013, and we also have run several different events as well that we'll talk about a little later as far as what's coming up too. So what is the Silicon Prairie, or what is the Midwest, or what's our geographic reach for this podcast?
Yeah, so to me, I mean, we're trying to reach everybody between Denver to Chicago, and then north to North Dakota down to I guess Oklahoma maybe. I always like to let Texas be themselves because they seem to like to be, but we don't necessarily exclude anybody, but that's kind of the geography that we're trying to reach. It's a bunch of mid-sized cities that have a lot of smart people in it that want to learn blockchain or be in the blockchain community, and we're just trying to connect with them through this podcast and any way we can to try to further this technology as it grows.
We were talking earlier about how in a lot of these states, like Iowa, for instance, there's a meetup or group in like Cedar Rapids or Des Moines, but nobody's going to drive across the state just to go to attend these events on a regular basis. We've had people from Iowa and Sioux City come down to Omaha for our events because we have a pretty good turnout. But that's not a common occurrence, I guess.
Yeah, we actually somebody drove over from Des Moines, but if it is decentralization, right? You're going to have to be able to meet them online, basically, because even the bigger global decentralized community, especially in Ethereum, is they're all over the place. They don't really have a big density anywhere, so it's basically a bunch of meetings and meetups and online things like this to really connect people together.
And you're from one of those states, right?
I'm from Fargo, North Dakota, yeah, and then I moved down to the much bigger and more populated state of Nebraska. So,
all right. Let's see here. So, if you look at like CoinLion, which we can hopefully we'll have them on at some point here. They're doing a fairly large ICO. They're in the I bought some the other day, but I can't remember what they hit their soft target or something like that. They had some announcement about it. They just seem to be doing pretty well. But that those types of things they're gaining traction or approaching a global audience, and they're right here in our backyard basically. But a lot of people in this region haven't even heard of them necessarily. So
yeah, and even like Exodus out of I guess I don't know if they're out of Lincoln or Omaha, wherever they are. They don't get a lot of publicity, and they have one of the best software wallets in the space. So I'm just trying to bring those stories kind of to light, kind of organically, and just see what happens.
Yeah. brag about them a little and hopefully get them some new customers. And
Yeah.
so let's see here, and then we've got on the other side of the world, we've got South Korea is supposedly banning all exchanges or some foreign customers or something like that. So there's quite a lot of uncertainty in the market, I would say, at this point.
Yeah, it's always new. It's always something new, right? Like, I'm glad this is like my full-time job because when I have people that kind of just watch it from the sidelines, they can never like totally keep up with it, you know? And it's not only the markets, even the technology is moving at just a blistering pace. So it's definitely the best, I guess, technology I think to be in. It's the most fun right now. So, I think South Korea and what China is doing kind of makes the technology more legitimate. I know the crypto anarchy type beginnings might not exactly like that direction, but from my perspective, it kind of makes it more legitimate and shows that it does have the interest of people outside of just kind of crypto nerds.
I saw there's a headline the other day about how it's a fairly large. It was the guy that wrote Black Swan, the book Black Swan. He's pretty well known in the stock market and such.
Yeah.
He was talking about how Bitcoin is or was truly meant to be a kind of a prepper type thing of like
right.
In case that happens, and I think he was basically validating that it is,
yeah,
it could really work to be that.
Yeah, and I was watching, I don't know if it was Bloomberg or CNBC a couple weeks ago, and one of the guys on there was saying that if Bitcoin, crashed again, like it likes to do quite a bit, like a full scale crash, it could set off the global markets, and that's kind of crazy to think that we've reached that point where cryptocurrency is large enough to actually start affecting the global markets.
Yeah. And then the other big event coming up in the Midwest is fairly large personalities coming into Denver for ETH Denver as well. And you went to ETH Waterloo, didn't you?
Yep. I went out to ETH Waterloo, which was the first one that was put on at the University of Waterloo, which is actually where Vitalik Buterin dropped out of college before he went on and created Ethereum. And then I'll be going to the ETH Denver as well. And it's just like an awesome hackathon. The ETH Waterloo one, CryptoKitties, was actually born out of that. So I'm looking forward to seeing what actually gets created at ETH Denver. There's a couple of us from Omaha going. And it's always like the smartest people in the world are there, and I always kind of feel pretty stupid when I'm talking to them. But hopefully, some of that kind of rubs off on me.
Well, let's get to the meat of it. I'm going to just go through the list of events that are coming up, and we're just going to give an overview of kind of what people are doing in each state, and then we'll have in future podcasts, we'll have actually some folks on here from those events or to talk about what they're doing. So, maybe having CoinLine, and then the folks that are some of these cities are more active than others, and some of them also, like you mentioned, LinkedIn, have products that they have launched and built, and we want to be able to talk to them directly. So that's the goal. So if you want to be on, please comment or message us, and we'll try to have you on here in a future podcast. So we're always looking for new topics. So we're going to go in alphabetical order so nobody gets so let's start with Colorado, and they have a very well named. They have each of their meetups starts with 0x. I think it's 0x1, 0x2, something like that. Throw a nod to Ethereum or Address, I guess. So they have their meetups, and that's fairly large, fairly well attended. And then that's blockchain focused. Do they have something crypto focused as well? Do you know?
So they have some crypto stuff. Then they have separations into Ethereum as well. The Colorado blockchain Slack is kind of housing all of the conversations, and that's one of the best Slack channels I've been on. And for people that are just getting into blockchain or crypto, everything pretty much happens on Slack or Telegram or even Riot. Yeah, Discord. That's where a lot of these conversations take place. Also, Reddit and Twitter, and it's all happening in real time. And you do have to kind of follow it every single day to see what's happening and follow the personalities. But yeah, Colorado's is the best one that I've been on personally.
And I did give up trying to read every CoinDesk article and
Yeah.
some of the stuff for a while at least. It was kind of hype-ish a little bit.
Yeah, at some point it just becomes like, all right, this is just a PR marketing outlet that they're getting paid to release these, right?
Okay, so then we mentioned in Colorado also they have their February, I don't remember the exact dates off the top of my head, but
15th through the 18th.
All right, 15th. All right, moving on, we have Iowa, and they, like you just mentioned, decentralized or using Discord or Slack, they have a Skype that they actually, and it was funny because I signed up, like I just signed up for the meetup and I followed the Skype link once, and then all of a sudden I got this call like a few days later, like when they were starting their Skype, my Skype started going off, and so
Yeah.
I didn't really mean to get a call, but so so yeah, I haven't joined them yet, but I do intend to. I wanted to get this up here first, and then we can share this with them. And so they have what do they have? They have a meetup for Des Moines, and then they have their Skype. And then you mentioned blockchain.
Yeah, the blockchain gospel. They're just trying to do education around blockchain technology. I don't know what their URL is, but they had an article in SPN.
We'll link to that as well in the comments here. And then Minnesota they've got blockchain professionals, and they've got enterprise blockchain and Ethereum Minnesota. And Ethereum Minnesota, has the one I followed the longest and the most.
Yeah.
They've been pretty active. They get to regularly. It's pretty large.
Yeah, they have like 400 plus people on there. I feel like they should probably combine blockchain professionals and enterprise blockchain. That kind of seems like it overlaps a little bit, but I don't know. Maybe they are different.
Let's see. And then Nebraska we have our blockchain development group, which you and I helped found or whatever with Jeff. And
yep.
What we do, speaking of that, is we need to give shout outs to folks that have helped us with this. So Proof of Podcast, we have Tom Pizzo from Linkstream. They do some blockchain development as well, but IOF is out of their space, and they have a nice recording studio there that I'm not actually at right now because of all the snow.
Yeah.
And then we have Jim Collison also from Gallup. He helped us get this off the ground, so he was really helpful in kind of holding our hand along the way. So let's see here. You want to take the rest of Nebraska? Some more of Nebraska?
Yeah, the Omaha Bitcoin meetup meets every Sunday, right?
Yeah, different locations, so they've been moving around a little bit.
And then you have your blockathon going on in April down in Lincoln.
I'll add there that we do have an individual ticket now, so actually folks from all over the Midwest could sign up. Even if you don't have a team, we can put you with a team, and like a traditional hackathon, you're going to get paired up with some folks, and then you pick a product to launch. So yeah.
And then we got Bitcoin Day Omaha. Is there a date on that yet or no?
It is, but I would have to look it up, and I don't know off the top of my head. It is, I believe it's in April as well. The difference, it's they're very close together, but the audience is entirely different because we're actually the Bitcoin Day Omaha will be more focused on like consumers, people that don't know a whole lot, whereas if Blockathon, you're there for a reason because you know what's going on with blockchain a little bit.
Yep. And then the Lincoln Bitcoin meetup. Do you know when that meets as well, or?
I believe it's Friday afternoon.
Okay.
I don't know how well they're attended. There used to be there was a Lincoln Bitcoin meetup that Luke Hansen from Company Cam ran, and then he let it lapse, and so now the name is like Lincoln's Bitcoin Meetup. I think
Yeah.
Lincoln Bitcoin Meetup was already taken. So
Yeah.
Yeah. And then North Dakota, I called it North Dakota Blockchain Group, but I believe it's actually something like Fargo. I think it's called Fargo Blockchain something on Facebook. So they from hold on. Nope. So there is Fargo and there's North Dakota, I guess. So we need to add the other one. And then last but not least is South Dakota. Their Facebook group is Midwest Crypto. I don't know if North Dakota or South Dakota. Have you heard of any other anything else besides what's on Facebook for either of them?
Yeah, I haven't heard anything else. I know there's a little bit of action going on in Sioux Falls, but I don't know much beyond just some passing conversations I've had with people.
Okay. Well, yeah, Sioux Falls. That is the home of CoinLion, I think. So I don't know. They've obviously got a lot of Ethereum to spend now.
Yeah.
So.
And they should have like friendly banking laws that should help them out in the future.
Yeah, hope so. I don't know what that'd be an interesting question. I should probably ask them that. I'm curious. I know in South Dakota, they when we were looking at putting a kiosk in, they were actually, I guess what I was told by the state of South Dakota Department of Banking would actually be in line with legitimizing what CoinLion's doing. So I guess that makes sense now why they're able to do it there. So I think that's all. And so also in future podcasts we'll be more specific about like what is coming up when in the near future. So we want to kind of look at the next 2 weeks and say here's who's meeting when, and if you don't catch it all through the podcast itself, then we'll just put it all in the comments, all the links there. So yeah, we're not going to try to keep up with every single event, but we'll try to include as many as we can. So
great.
All right. Well, thanks. We'll see you again here shortly, and thanks for tuning in. And this is Proof of Podcast signing off.